the first thing that I wanted to ask you, I don't want, because I know we want to make sure we're talking about AEW and everything happening, but your career has just been unreal. This is the first time we've gotten to meet, and I don't want to get into too many specifics, but
let's do it. We got long form. We got all the time. Let's go.
John's saying no. I've seen Mark do interviews before.
No.
You have been part of so many crazy moments in professional wrestling. I mean, it was funny when I went back and looked. The David Arquette thing, the Hogan laydown, Wrestling China, the Ric Flair's last match, all the stuff that happened in TNA, and I'm just wondering. Do you intentionally put yourself in these positions, or is this just did you fall into those things and just kind of the way it went?
Mark, I am so disappointed in you that you've left out one of the bigger career highlights. That you mentioned a few of them, but you do realize that I hit Beetlejuice with a guitar.
Ah, yes, Beetlejuice.
He just acted. No, all kidding aside. No, I do a podcast every week. I'll go ahead and get that plug out of the way. But no, you threw me a softball here. But I do a podcast every week called My World with Jeff Jarrett, and Conrad Thompson is my partner. And the reason I'm telling you this story is when he reached out to me, I told him no for about 2 or 3 years. I don't want to do a podcast. There's no interest. And he kept kind of saying, no, Jeff, I don't think you're looking at it through the eyes that I'm looking through it. And Conrad is a great businessman. And end of the day, he's a huge wrestling fan like myself. And he just said, let's just talk about a few things. So one thing led to another, and we came out of the pandemic and we launched one. But oftentimes he'll joke with me and call me the Forrest Gump of wrestling, that I just kind of end up in these unique spots. But yeah. I think longevity has a lot to do with that. When I think about just getting started, when it happened, because the business was in such an evolution in 85 and 86, and, it was when Hulkamania was taking off and cable television was really exploding, which meant it was the dying days of the territory. And I was a part of essentially the last sellout, the last big run of my family's promotion in Memphis with Jerry Lawler and all that. So there's been things that have happened along the way that I look back on. I feel very blessed and grateful. I think the last Cotton Bowl show, Cotton Bowl Stadium with WCCW, I mean, we kind of go through some things that when I look back on, it's longevity's a part of it, but I'm very grateful that I've navigated my way and again, looking through it from a rearview mirror, going from WWF to WCW, back to the WWF, back to WCW. There's, that was about a 6-7 year span that, as you mentioned, an Arquette deal, the China deal. There's a couple of things you could drop in there. So, yeah, I feel very fortunate.